The theme of the week is athlete scouting in Namibia. The world is changing every day. Technology advancement is faster than it was 15 years ago. Now that brings us to the questions. Are we getting the best sportsmen and women in Namibia? And are we doing enough to secure good talent for all sports codes? According to research done by MON, assessing and accessing athletes at a very young age have a good result in the long run. Parents, especially the overprotective ones, need to get educated on talent search, talent identification, and talent embracement for their children, as this opens up many possibilities. In Namibia, however, many sport codes rarely see athletes become professionals in that field, except for boxing, athletics, cricket, and soccer, just to mention a few. We caught up with some sportsmen and women to engage them on this week's theme.
Hi everyone, my name is Wilhelm Tuafeni. I'm a sports author and a consultant. I'm based in Ocho. So my main role as a consultant is to advise high growth sports clubs, athletes, and just to make sure that these guys, they know what they are doing in their offices and that the best quality in sports is a player must be disciplined. That's the most important thing. Talent, of course, it's important, but if the player is not disciplined, I can't work with him, or no any other coach can work with this specific player. So the coaches can look for commitment. Discipline obviously is very important in sports, because as a coach and working with an undisciplined player is going to be very challenging. So
just move your body, turn around and clap your hands. We do it fine now.
There are challenges like getting players that are, of course, that are committed. Obviously, accessible facilities that you can go and train. Anytime that you feel like. Those are some of the challenges, and I think we in our region, we are struggling with easily accessible facilities for the players to get training.
A small developing country such as Namibia requires a strong, committed, and vibrant training system for tapping and honing potential sporting talent. The government, sports federations, and associations in the country have thus far taken several initiatives with the aim of producing a significant number of talented players or athletes in their fields of interest. The difficulty in sourcing funds comes to light as the sports industry status is considered a risky business proves to be a challenge all over the world.
Funding not really for me, because of course if you don't have a proper development plan, you can get money and still not be able to achieve your goals. So for me, I think facilities number one, and getting the right people in the right team, the right coaches, the right managers, and also the right players that are disciplined.
Just move your body, turn around and clap your hands. We do it fine now.
The risks in sports are there because some sports, as parents can see, they are of high risk. For example, maybe rugby and wrestling. However, in those sport codes, there are coaches that are well trained to handle those kind of things. So I think parents can be comfortable sending their kids to those sport codes, because the coaches are well trained and they know how to avoid the risk of kids or players maybe getting injured. So I don't think there should be any panic there from the parents, because everything is planned for. These coaches are well trained to handle those kind of situations.
Here's a short story for the week. titled The Hedgehogs. It was the coldest winter ever. Many people died because of the cold. The hedgehogs, realizing the situation, decided to group together to keep warm. This way, they covered and protected themselves, but the quails or thorns of each one wounded their closest companions. After a while, they decided to distance themselves one from the other, and they began to die, alone and frozen. So they had to make a choice: either accept the quails or thorns of their companions or disappear from the earth. Wisely, they decided to go back to being together. They learned to live with the little wounds caused by the close relationship with their companions in order to receive the heat that came from the others. This way, they were able to survive. The moral of the story is, the best relationship is not the one that brings together perfect people, but when each individual learns to live with the imperfections of others and can admire the other person's good qualities.
One step forward, one step back. Just move your body. Just turn around and clap your hands. We're doing fine now. One step left.
The topic of talent scouting is broad. It's a broad topic. It depends on what the main objective behind the scouting is all about. But if you are just going to scout for players that are probably, talented or has a passion for a specific sport code, or maybe you want to create a team, you have to look at the specific things. If it's just general scouting, it's just passion. If a specific kid love that specific sport code, that's already a green light, or a motivation for you as a coach. But if you are scouting for example, a national team, or a massive training camp, you have to look at other things like, is this player really up to standard with the skills? But for me, I will take it that passion, that's number one for me. And the other thing is this player coachable? Because it doesn't really make sense you take a player that is passionate, but the player is not coachable.
One step forward, one step back. Just move your body. Just turn around and clap your hands. We're doing fine now. One step.
Well, my message to the parents and the aspiring athletes is, talent, it's something, and commitment is the other thing. So to the parents, if you see that your kid is showing some kind of passion towards a specific sport code, I think it's your role to be there to motivate this kid. Show up on the games. Buy whatever shoes, or maybe comfortable sports clothes that the kid will be using for practices. So to the athletes, respect your coaches. Obviously, work hard. And dream big, and just love what you do. Commitment, discipline. Those small little things, they really count a lot. So be there and show that you really want to make a difference in your life using your talent.
Getting talent, or measuring how good an athlete is, we look at the psychological, biological, and sociological readiness of each player or athlete. This helps scout managers to make proper judgments when selecting teams as low as at the school level. For one to play for the national team, or to represent Namibia in particular, a lot of time or money has to be invested in this athlete. But are we investing enough in sports? Maybe we are, maybe we are not. It's all about talent search, identification, and thereafter commitment and investment.
One step forward, one step back. Just move your body. Just turn around and clap your hands. We're doing fine now.
Well, Auto Cricket has been busy over the last couple of weeks. During the lockdown, we have created the High Performance Center, which is currently at our offices, where we bring in players to come and get a bit of quality coaching. So the sessions has been divided into two: the morning and the afternoon session, where we are inviting players that are more of high performing. These are now some of the high performing like national players from the boys and from the girls. So these guys has been working hard, and we are looking forward to improve our coaching structures and train our coaches. We are having Zoom meetings, and we trying to equip our coaches for them to be better coaches as soon as things get back to normal, these guys are going to be more equipped with skills and some technical knowledge of the game. Also, cricket is also busy working with other coaches from other towns. We are going to have a few training camps and a few tournaments here and there, just to make sure that we cover up our calendar for 2020 that has not been going well due to the COVID-19, but we are hopeful that things will be good should the things get back to normal. Sponsorship wise, of course, we have landed few sponsors here and there. However, we are not doing well because we are restricted to carry out our program in full. So, but we are hopeful that things are going to get better. Okay.
In short, we are doing all we can. However, some issues common to all sports, such as lack of sporting culture and awareness on sports importance, is hindering the sports fraternity's efforts to success. Lack of coaches and technical know-how of sports in Namibia, scarcity of adequate spaces for providing training in sports, the problem of inaccessibility for private players to public stadiums and training infrastructure, parents' restrictions, morale to supporting established athletes are also slowing down the progress made thus far. All the above, if not more, are resulting in a smaller talent pool in the country and no proper representation is done. Thank you for watching today. We will be back again next week for more interesting content. For My Ucha newspaper and the entire production team, bye for now and take care.
Views and opinions expressed in this content aren't necessarily those of the My Ocho newspaper. My Ocho News, turning stones.